The Delta variant of the coronavirus continues its global spread.
The big story at the moment is the Delta variant.
Should we fear the Delta variant?
Absolutely.
It's more easily transmittable, this Delta variant, potentially deadlier, and especially dangerous for young people.
A highly contagious Delta variant fueling new cases and hospitalizations in states with low vaccination rates.
The more contagious Delta variant could bring new dangers.
A 2-week lockdown has been imposed in Sydney to contain an outbreak of the highly contagious COVID-19 Delta variant.
The highly contagious Delta variant is causing new concern.
Public health officials urge people who are not fully vaccinated to use caution because of a new potent strain known as the Delta variant.
Delta is the most transmissible of the variants identified so far.
Now that we have this mutation dubbed the Delta Plus, it's coming out of the Delta variant, I guess, how much more concerned should we be about widespread infections, a spike in the number of infections here in the U.S.?
As the Delta variant has a new mutation, this is called Delta Plus, which sounds fairly worrying.
Israel's been forced to reimpose mask mandates indoors just 10 days after lifting the measure. The country's coronavirus response chief said that they're seeing a doubling in case counts every few days.
A COVID setback for one of the most vaccinated countries on the planet. That's shaping up to be a warning for the rest of the world over the fast-spreading Delta variant. Israel set to reinstate its indoor mask mandate next week after the country's health ministry registered 148 new cases Wednesday, the highest daily increase since May. The increased infection is attributed to the spread of the Delta variant.
The World Health Organization is urging fully vaccinated people to continue wearing masks as the Delta variant spreads worldwide. This latest warning comes at a time where many countries, including the U.S., have ended mask mandates and most other pandemic restrictions.
I'm reiterating my call for every governor, mayor, and local leader to maintain and reinstate the mask mandate. Please, this is not politics. Reinstate the mandate if you let it down. And business should require masks as well. The failure to take this virus seriously, precisely what got us to this mess in the first place, risk more cases, more deaths.
1,000 door knocks in 2 days. That's Shelby County's goal for a new vaccination outreach effort in the community. Fox 13's Kirsten Garris is live tonight in the medical district. Kirsten, Shelby County Mayor Lee Harris says they are focusing on areas with the lowest vaccination rates with this effort.
I think it's a very conservative, very independent community, and I think there's a lot of obviously misconceptions about the vaccine. We're trying to get out in front of that, but we do have a lot of people who say, if you're telling me to get it, I'm not doing it. They're just kind of pushing back. So we're going to try to get out one-on-one. We've got to increase the vaccination rate in our community because we're seeing that direct correlation to the increased COVID vaccine or increased COVID activity and a low vaccination number. So we have to get out and change that stat.
And Allison, Chris says that the way to change that stat is not going to be those top-down approaches that you've been seeing in states like the lotteries and things like that, experts coming in. He said it's really going to have to be that face-to-face, one-on-one communication in an area like this to convince folks to get out and get their shots, Allison.
Right now, it's got to be in the trenches, getting people. Like, for example, I was on a conference of mayors yesterday talking about going door to door, like I did with Mayor Bowser just this weekend in the District of Columbia, getting people out, answering their questions. Many people just need more information. They've let it go. They haven't paid attention to it. They have to start paying attention to it now, because if they are unvaccinated, they are at risk. Whereas those who are vaccinated can have a great 4th of July. I mean, you could just do all the things you want to do on the 4th of July if, in fact, you're vaccinated.
Well, Well, and you know, you don't want to overstate it, but a World Health official said the Delta strain is faster, fitter, and will move through communities more efficiently and pick off the unvaccinated. We just talked about those who are unvaccinated for whatever reason, you know, convenience, fear, politics, who knows. I think about the unvaccinated, and I think about a whole group of little kids under 12 who have no choice. They're unvaccinated. And now this more virulent strain is moving through communities. As a parent, what do you advise?
Yeah. Well, certainly if a child is unvaccinated, which it might be merely on the basis of their age, you've got to be careful and abide by the public health recommendations, which means when children are interacting with others outside of the family setting, if a family members are vaccinated, no problem. When you go out, wear a mask. But Savannah, if you just think about it, the best way to protect the children is to bring the level of virus circulation in the community down. The best way to do that is that those, i.e. adults, who are eligible for vaccination, to get vaccinated. So you're not only protecting yourself, but by bringing the level of virus down in the community, you're indirectly protecting the children who can't yet get vaccinated. That's one of the most important ways to do that.
Thank you. This variant, the Delta variant, fast spreading. Right now, it accounts for roughly 1 of every 5 new COVID cases in the U.S., according to the CDC. Dr. Fauci calls it the single greatest threat to ending the pandemic. Here's the question. Do you expect cases to rise again in the months ahead, particularly in the fall?
Absolutely.
Should we fear the Delta variant?
Absolutely. I mean, given how quickly it is spreading, it should be a concern because it can destabilize even countries that have done a pretty good job vaccinating. So for that reason, I think all these warnings are reasonable, and it's an extra push to get people vaccinated and to help people and others understand the importance of vaccination.
Some people, even the vaccinated, are too nervous to take their masks off and mingle with the masses.
I was thinking about how fun it would be to go to a movie theater. Then I'm like, actually, I don't know if I would feel normal in a movie theater.
A few days ago, I said this was the scariest time that I felt since the pandemic started, and that's proven to be the case. We should brace ourselves for more cases. We're finding that all household contacts, unfortunately, are getting the virus. Transmissibility is at least double what previous variants have been. So we do need to brace ourselves for potentially larger number of cases in the following days, and that's why it's so important we take action now.
The Delta variant is, though, worth paying attention to. Alex, let me just break in as well with UK data. The UK reporting 22,868 more COVID-19 cases on June the 28th. That number is creeping up, and it's causing consternation across the rest of Europe as well, as a result of which we're getting fresh travel restrictions across the continent. We've basically got a jumble. We've got a confusing set of rules. We're trying to get some clarity. To be honest, that's what Angela Merkel is pushing in the direction of. She wants a common approach. She wants, in particularly, a common approach to the UK, where the Delta variant is kind of ahead of where it is maybe in other parts of Europe. Let's get the latest now with Maria Tadeo. Maria, it is becoming incredibly confusing to track what is happening here. Germany's got its rules, the UK's got its rules, Spain and Portugal are now got different rules.
Even Australia, which had early success stopping COVID by closing its borders, is now facing an outbreak. Sydney has been locked down.
A 2-week lockdown has been imposed in Sydney to contain an outbreak of the highly contagious COVID-19 Delta variant. The new restrictions affect more than 5 million people in and around the Australian city. At least 80 cases have been reported so far. Most have been linked to a limousine driver who was infected while taking an international flight crew to a quarantine hotel.
Angesichts der Delta-Variante, die ja doch in einigen Mitgliedstaaten schon erhebliche Wachstumsraten aufweist, auch bei uns stärker und dominanter wird, dass angesichts dieser Delta-Variante wir leider nicht sagen können.
The big story at the moment is the Delta variant. Several studies being done. What are you learning about it?
Well, first and foremost, if you're vaccinated, you should have good protection against this variant of SARS-CoV-2. Some studies from England and ongoing studies from other countries are showing that. Now, if you're unvaccinated, the story is very different. This virus seems to be spreading much faster than even the Alpha variant, which was our big concern during the winter months here in the U.S. And it's showing signs of having more significant disease in younger aged populations.
So for that reason, I think all these warnings are reasonable, and it's an extra push to get people vaccinated and to help people and others understand the importance of vaccination.
Great. Rah, rah. We're going to do it. Celebrities will step in and say, get vaccinated, etc. Or do we need corporations, sporting events, etc., to say, enough, you got to be vaccinated if you want to participate?
I imagine that is going to happen, particularly as the vaccines move from the authorization stage to getting licensed. I think it'll become more of a standard in this country, given the very strong safety record that they have and the fact that they'll be fully licensed. I think that probably is going to happen more and more.
Hey, Eva, good morning. Even as COVID cases drop across the nation, there are pockets where infections are rising. That Delta variant, a major threat against the virus, especially in those states with low vaccination rate.
On parlera évidemment de la pandémie. L'Europe continue d'avancer, de déployer sa stratégie de vaccination et nous voyons les résultats qui sont là avec les réouvertures progressives. Néanmoins, nous devons tous être vigilants, parce que le fameux variant Delta arrive, qui se diffuse beaucoup plus rapidement que les précédents variants. Et on le voit, qui touche les personnes qui ne sont pas vaccinées ou qui n'ont eu qu'une seule dose. Et ce qui nous impose d'être encore plus rapide dans cette campagne de vaccination.
If you're not vaccinated, don't put it off any longer. Just do it. Just do it. And it's never been easier. Never been easier to do it.